Hi everyone, my name's Damian. I would have loved to be there with you in person today, but because of COVID and everything, I'm not able to do that. This is the next best thing, and it's great to join you by video. Mrs. Street asked me if I would share with you a special Christmas tradition. I wonder if you can guess what that is. I'm not going to tell you just yet. Before I get into that, I want to just say a little bit about myself. So I have a wife, Maggie, I have 2 teenage boys, and Christmas is a very special time for us as a family. I also lead a church in Corby, Hope Church, and some people would call me a vicar, other people would call me a minister, and people in my church call me a pastor, not the kind of pastor that you eat. Pastor means shepherd. And a shepherd looks after a flock. So that's a picture of the role that I have. I care for lots of people and I help them on their journey of faith. And for us as a church at Christmas, Christmas is a very special time. I wonder if you have Christmas traditions as a family. Just think for a moment about the things that you do as a family that are the same every year, things that you love to do together that have become traditions in your family. Just think for a moment. In my family, when I was your age, I remember we used to have a tradition where my brother and I would come down the stairs and we would stand on the very bottom step together. We used to love Christmas morning. We used to love all of the decorations and all of the lights and the smells of food. The turkey was already cooking in the kitchen, and we would come down the stairs, and my brother and I would stand on the bottom stair because neither of us wanted to be the first to get downstairs. We wanted to arrive downstairs at exactly the same moment. So we would stand on the bottom step and we would count down 3, 2, 1. And then we would jump and we would land downstairs on Christmas morning at exactly the same moment. I wonder if you've got traditions like that, or if your family has similar kinds of traditions. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about a tradition that is well loved by children, by families, by churches right across our country and also around the world, and it is the Christingle. I don't know if you've ever seen a Christingle or know what a Christingle is, but this is something that children and families use to celebrate the Christmas story every single year. So the first thing you need for a Christingle is this, an orange, and the orange is round, and it reminds us that God created the whole world and he loves that world so much. And then the second thing on the Christingle is this red ribbon. Now, if you've had presents over the years, it might be that you might have had ribbons wrapped around your presents. And so this ribbon is wrapped around the orange, and it reminds us, what colour is a love heart? That's right, it's red. And so this ribbon reminds us of God's love and that he loves the whole world. It's also red because God showed his love in a really special way when he sent his son, Jesus, to be born on the earth in a stable. He grew up and he died on a cross, and his blood was shed for our forgiveness. And that red ribbon reminds us of that amazing act of love when Jesus died on the cross instead of us. And so we have the orange, the whole world, God's love wrapped around that world. And the next thing, I'll just put this in here, this piece of foil actually stops the drips from what I'm going to do next. The next part of the Christingle is this. It's a candle. So we put the candle in the top of the orange. And this candle reminds us that Jesus came into this world as the light of the world. This year's been a really hard year for lots of people. If you think about the fact that some people don't have families, they live on their own, and some people are desperately lonely and they haven't seen people because of the lockdown and various things. Some people have been poorly, they've been ill, and this hasn't been a good year for many people. And it might even be that when you weren't at school you really missed your friends, and there's been a lot of darkness this year. And so this candle reminds us that Jesus is the light of the world and he brings light into darkness. The next part of the Christingle are these things. And so can you see there are sticks with sweets on? So I'm just going to put these in here. And there are 4 of these, all pointing in different directions. And some people say that there are 4 of these because there are 4 corners of the world. And this reminds us that God's love goes to everybody. So it doesn't matter if you're young or old, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, it doesn't matter what race you are or religion you are, it doesn't matter whether you have a disability or not. God loves everybody. It doesn't matter if other people don't love you, God loves you. And so these sticks pointing in 4 different directions remind us that God knows everybody and loves everybody. But also we know that there are 4 seasons, don't we? Spring, summer, autumn and winter. And it reminds us that God loves us all the time. Not just in one year and not just one season of one year, but every season of our lives. The final thing with this Christingle that is important is the flame on the top. And so I have another candle. I'll just light this. There we go. And so that again reminds us that Jesus is the light of the world. And he came into our world, was born in a stable, was laid in a manger, wasn't born in a king's palace, wasn't born to rich parents, came down into the most humble circumstances so that he could be with us, be one of us. And so Jesus is the light of the world. There is your Christingle. Now, one interesting thing when you have a Christingle service is that everybody has one of these. Everybody would have had fun making one of these Christingles. And what happens is the first candle is lit. Only one candle is lit. And then that candle is passed along and lights another candle, which lights another candle, and the light is shared. So the room will begin dark and then gradually the light will fill the room as each of these Christingles is lit. And that reminds us that when God brings his light into our lives, we give it away. When he pours his love into our hearts, we love other people. And when he pours his goodness into us, we are kind to other people as well. And so the Christingle reminds us that at Christmas time especially, but all year round, we are kind and good to other people. We share the love and we share the light. So there it is, the Christingle. So all I have to say now to you, I might even sing it. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Happy Christmas, everyone.